Hey, welcome to Stuff I Love. Now, this is where I'm going to talk about films that I think are absolutely fantastic. They're not going to be in any specific order. It's just films that I really like, and if you haven't seen them, I suggest you go see them instantly. The first one I'm going to talk about is a Stephen King film. Now, this is one that hasn't really gotten the attention that it should do. It should be in a lot more best vampire lists, always. When people think of Stephen King and vampires, most of the time they automatically think of Salem's Lot. The 70s miniseries and the slightly newer miniseries starring Rob Lowe, which I think unfairly gets attacked, but we'll cover that later on down the track. This one is about The Night Flyer, which is based on a Stephen King short story. It is a really creepy, good, gory, low-budget horror film. It seems that when Stephen King films sort of don't muck around too much and just get down and dirty, they end up being really, really good. It's got a really cool vampire. It's got a really great idea. The mechanics of it still hold up today. The effects were done by KMB. The vampire is fantastic. A great idea for a vampire. Really creepy looking. The acting is great. Miguel Ferrer is the main guy, and he's at his gruffest, meanest best. Some great dialogue between him and his female counterpart. I can't remember her name. Weirdly, she's only done a couple more things. She was really, really great in it. Stephen King has given it the nod, saying that it's fantastic. I think you'll see where it excels at the most is because it was a short story, and I think those for not just Stephen King stories, but stories overall. I think those are the ones that excel the most in being adapted to the big screen, because when it's a short story, you don't necessarily have to cut anything out. It could be a 20-page short story, so you get to leave everything in the story and then expand upon that, such as in the short story, Miguel Ferrer's character goes into Dwight Renfield, which is the name of the Night Flyer, into his plane, and you get to see all sorts of creepy stuff. And it's a really gross out, like he's basically just shot guts all around the inside of the plane. It's really gross. Stephen King said in an interview that he'd never thought of actually going inside his plane, and it's stuff like that that you're able to add and develop in the script development phase. Whereas if you're doing something like, say, The Shining or Salem's Lot, what you've got to concentrate on is what you've got to cut out. What characters can you combine, what characters can go, what plot lines can go, so you can condense it down to 2.5 hours, or if you're doing a mini series, 4 hours or whatever. Even 4 hours for a Stephen King novel is far too short, which of course we've seen in It and The Stand, and I think The Langoliers was a mini series as well, and maybe Needful Things was as well, I think. Yeah, but even in that expanded format on television, it's still not enough time. You'd need like a season like Game of Thrones, where you've got 10 one-hour episodes to do justice to a Stephen King book, which wouldn't be a bad idea. But when you're adapting a short story, and you'll find that with a lot of his more successful ones, not always. I mean, Pet Sematary was good, Misery was good, Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, that sort of stuff, really good, but also had to cut out a ton of stuff. That's why The Night Flyer is excellent. Aside from the fact that it's an awesome vampire film, it gets really creepy near the end where it goes black and white with all these like zombie/vampire things. The performances are great. The vampire is great. It looks great. Just get it if you haven't seen it. Buy it. Release it on Blu-ray.